Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 15 of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Lost Everything. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, stay in tune for a brand new episode over Anime King and over on Anime King 3. If you're new, yes, you're not mistaken. You heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, as Naruto met up with Itachi, Itachi was angry as the both of them started a fight. As Naruto could not fight him back at first, Itachi was his friend, his best friend from when he was younger. So Naruto couldn't find the anger, the rage, to fight Itachi back. But Itachi came in for the kill, as Naruto had to defend himself. A brutal battle ensued between them. Itachi was an Anvu, one of the best, and Naruto was just a chunin. So it was rather ridiculous that Naruto could take him on, but yet Naruto was fighting him. Itachi had the Sharingan that he killed Shisui, that he told Naruto, and awakened it. The Mangetsu. He used the Amaterasu flames. He used the Susanoo, but yet still Naruto came out of it. As the both of them fought, Itachi captured Naruto in the Tsukiyomi. Meanwhile, Minato was pissed as he told Uncle to go and get Naruto back immediately before anything happened out of the way, before he messed up the plan, as Uncle had to grab Kakashi and the both of them left immediately to find Naruto. So with that they headed off, as Naruto summoned the giant chameleon, Shiromori. Shiromori missed her past summoner, that is why she had stayed, and that is why the others could not find her. She preferred to stay there, where her past summoner had died, and mourned, as she was incredibly loyal. Naruto had to force to send her back though, because Itachi was going to use the Amaterasu flame, and he didn't want her to get hurt. So he had to send her back by force because she did not want to leave him, as she would be angry at him for a while, seeing that she couldn't be able to protect him. As the battle ensued between them, the battle destroyed the entire valley. One would be surprised that Naruto was still alive, as Itachi placed him under Tsukiyomi. Itachi tortured Naruto for the 70 hours plus, which was the equivalent of 3 days. As Naruto did not break, he came out of it. As Naruto had been reading up on Tobirama books, mixing his chakra to a fine point, Naruto was able to turn his chakra into below freezing temperature. As he mixed the water and wind together, as he froze the entire area. Itachi was shocked by that, as he was frozen in a block of ice. As Naruto was incredibly low on chakra, so was Itachi. Itachi used the Amaterasu flame though, as his eyes were bleeding badly as he broke out of it. Madara appeared though and stopped him from engaging anymore with Naruto, as he had to knock Itachi out and take him with him. As the masked man told Naruto that he will be coming for him soon enough, he should just keep himself quiet and be ready. As Naruto fell, he saw through Anko's eyes in his mindscape, the mirror that was in there. He could see through Anko's eyes. It was a connection between him and her, from what the fox had placed on her. As Anko came and she kissed Naruto as she transferred her chakra to him, Kakashi had to forcefully separate them because Anko was literally dying, as she would not let go until he was okay. Kakashi underestimated Naruto's injuries, as when they got back, Naruto passed out. He was asleep for 3 months. Naruto woke up as he found Anko. She looked fat, but Anko told him that she was not fat, she was pregnant. As Naruto was shocked, there was a question that his mother wanted to ask her. She told him, as it was marriage, right? A lot of the fan club of Naruto was rather angry. Not just them, a lot of people that wanted Naruto to be a part of their family, their daughters to be married to Naruto, they were quite pissed that Uncle was the first one to snatch him up. As the information was still rolling through Naruto's mind, he was shocked as hell that this was real. Well, they had done it back then. He still couldn't believe that he was unconscious for 3 months. His mother then came in the room as she spoke to him, followed by Jiraiya as Naruto saw it. He saw through the act as he told Minato to drop it. Minato was shocked that Naruto figured it out. As Naruto then explained what has been going on, he was able to put the pieces of memories together over the past 2 years. As it all makes sense now when the chameleon first told him that he should learn how to see through normal transformations. As Naruto warned the man to just leave and never get his family involved in anything again and the people that he cared about. And with that, Minato flee away. Minato arrived at his office as he cursed. As Naruto knew everything now. As Naruto had figured all out, Katsume was the Jinchuriki as well. Jiraiya had split the Biju as he was the one that did the sealing. But Jiraiya didn't have enough energy to seal the Reaper Death seal on Katsume, so he used the Iron Seal. And his chakra was already depleting and he died. But he had written a letter before that, telling Minato that the seal was faulty. But Minato thought that it was Naruto. He thought all along after what Kushina said, when Katsume had lost it and he thought that Naruto was the one that destroyed the crib. And almost hurt Katsume, but she was the one that was going insane back then, because the seal was faulty. So he threw his son out for nothing, thinking that his son was not in control. And all along Katsume was the one, as Naruto warned him that he would tell everyone that she was one of the Jinchuriki for her to deserve her title as a Jinchuriki. So Minato had nothing to do but leave the boy alone. The regret and guilt on his conscience was really heavy by now, as he cursed himself to this day for what he did back then. Not to mention the other things that he has done so far. It was going to surely lead to his death. Meanwhile, Naruto spoke to Neji as someone else came to the office. It was Sasuke and Mikoto. So yeah guys, that was basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check out for yourself so to begin this new episode. As both Sasuke and Mikoto enter the room, Sasuke faced with a mixture of anxiety, sorrow, grief and tension, while Mikoto's face was of one that was resigned to know that she was one of the last Uchihas of her clan, because of her elder son doing, and he has now become an S-rank missing nin. Are we disturbing her rest? Mikoto asked politely. Naruto shook his head. I think I have slept enough, he said, only for Sasuke to jump in. 3 months is more than enough for someone like you, said Sasuke. Sasuke, Mikoto said. But Sasuke pointed his finger at Naruto. What? He couldn't bring back big brother Itachi. I won't believe he did it. I can't believe he did it. Just as Mikoto was about to raise her hand, Naruto interrupted. There's no need. Sasuke and Mikoto both looked perplexed. There's no need. Itachi's actions were something I could not expect either. It took me cracked ribs and a sore lung to truly understand, said Naruto, as his gaze showed his sorrow. I can't believe 3 months passed. It's just like it was yesterday to me, said Naruto. What did he say? Sasuke shouted. He had to have said something, right? Sasuke, keep your voice down. We're in the hospital, and Senju-san has only woke up today. You will keep your voice down or you will leave, said Mikoto. As Naruto looked towards Sasuke, he said that as Naruto paused, as he thought to himself what Itachi had said to him. But he couldn't tell Sasuke that or he will hate Uncle. Was his brother expecting this? To see if the will of fire can hold up to the Uchiha hatred. As Naruto sighed, he spoke of the Sharingan. The Mangekyo Sharingan. He used strange powers, jutsu with his eyes, Susanoo, Amaterasu, and Tsukiyomi. Did he tell you if he had killed Shisui? Asked Mikoto. As Naruto couldn't help but nod as he recalled that event. He said that it took him 2 years to make him his closest friend, and then he had killed him. For the reason, said Mikoto. It's the Mangekyo. Mom, Sasuke said. The Mangekyo Sharingan is the evolved form of the normal Sharingan. It is written in the Knuckle Shrine tablet that through the death of someone precious to you, will the Mangekyo be awoken. But those jutsu you spoke of, those eye techniques, no one could have taught them to him so quickly. Well, that certain Madara did deliver a right-hand jab to my face. Well, at least Itachi called him that. Mikoto's eyes blinked as he widened, but Madara was killed during the I don't know if it was Madara Uchiha or not, said Naruto. But I know Itachi called the man that. And he said that he preferred to be called Tobi. I don't know. Maybe he used as a nickname, said Naruto. Thank you. We've interrupted your rest for enough. We should be leaving now, Senju-san, she said. As Mikado turned to leave, Sasuke stopped as he looked towards Naruto. Can you bring Itachi back? Sasuke, Mikado said, as her younger son should not put such a burden on Naruto's shoulders. But Naruto spoke up before she could say anything. I will, Sasuke. You just keep on studying, and who knows, maybe by the time that you graduate, I'll have you on my genin team, and we can both bring him back. Sasuke nodded, a determined look in his eyes, as he left with his mother. As Naruto then heard another piercing sound after they left. Sensei! As Naruto wondered, did they free the brats from the academy just for him? As Naruto's eyes turned murderous towards Iruka, who had brought almost the entire class in his room. I mean, he liked the kids, but couldn't Iruka have brought them in at waves, not entirely at once? As Naruto was swarmed by bouquets, flowers, cards, get well soon cards, chocolate and more. As it took half an hour as he thanked them all. Well, you've all got to visit your sensei, Iruka said. Now, keep your part of the lesson. You must all come back to the classroom. But bro needs someone to cheer him up, said Kiba, and we saw Sasuke leaving his brute self. Sasuke could need a beautiful girl to warm his heart. He's not brute, Ino said. That matter is irrelevant. Sensei, need time to rest, Shino said. Troublesome, said Shikamaru as he sit down on the chair. I'll just take a nap here. As Iruka's eyes started to twitch. Sensei, did you use any cool jutsus in the fight? Can you describe them? Naruto wasn't sure whether to be happy or not for Sakura loyalty in his fan club, or be worried. Maybe it was a jutsu desire. Listen, said Naruto. But he was interrupted. Shinno-kun is right. Stop bothering Sensei, said Katsumi as she pushed away a couple of kids from Naruto's side. Katsumi-chan is right, Hinata said. Although she did not move from her spot, she wanted the others to leave and stay here. Choji munched on his chips. It took Iruka and 3 more nurses and a pissed off Shizune to remove all of the kids, as they didn't want to leave. Moments later, Iruka returned. I didn't think that they would react that negatively in leaving. Naruto chuckled. Nah, it's fine. Can't be annoyed by a kid. They're the future of the village after all. I see. Did you manage to convince Sasuke to attend school again? Since the incident 3 months ago, he hasn't. Naruto frowned a bit. He skipped school for 3 months? I tried, but that won't do. Can you tell him? If he doesn't come to school tomorrow, I will, once I'm out of here, and repeat my words to a letter, that I will grab his lame excuse of a haircut and throw him into a water dragon to launch him all the way to school, and I'm serious. Iruka nodded. Perhaps that will be all the motivation that Sasuke will need. Did Tsunade-sama tell you when you will be discharged? You remember last time with the pink glass? As Naruto chuckled, just keep the lesson interesting. Transformations should come to you easy, right? Yes, but I can't maintain them for the entire school hours, Iruka said. Just increase your control. Mind technique body, Iruka-san. Trust me, it works, said Naruto. You better be going though. I'm sure by now that Katsumi, Kiba, and Choji are halfway to the nearest ramen stall. You're right, Iruka said. Get better soon. With that, he made his way off. As Naruto took a breath, he was shocked because Hiruzen entered his room, and Naruto did not sense him. Well, the man was the third Hokage once. His skill. I'm angry with you, you know, said Naruto. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about, Naruto-kun. As Naruto sighed. Really, the Kami of Shinobi did not know about the fourth Hokage situation about that night. It's kind of funny, I thought, that out of everyone in the village, at least 2 people had to know. But it seemed like you're one of them. Or maybe I'm just paranoid, said Naruto. But you had to know, because you were there, and you wouldn't have dropped the issue that easily. You knew, and you were guilty about it. That is why you defended me from the Hokage and Danzo all those years ago. And the fake Jiraiya wouldn't have fooled you. You taught him, didn't you? You have to have seen it. You had to have seen Jiraiya die. But Orochimaru did not. Hiruzen sighed. Orochimaru took a hit from the Kyuubi's tail and was knocked unconscious for a good following week. But Minato didn't have... I don't care, Saru, said Naruto. At that nickname, Hiruzen was surprised that Naruto called him that. I don't care what excuses, what defenses, or what reason you had, or him, or anyone might have. I am here because of Konoha, because of my friends, because of my bonds, because of my people, but I do not care for him. I do not care if this world burn. I am not here for anyone but those who I care about. No amount of sickening nonsense will convince me otherwise. That nickname, why did you use it? Hiruzen was curious and he was hoping to change the subject. Saru, for all your worth, you need to be pegged down in pride. Pride kills shinobis more than anything else. That is why I call you Saru, not because I wish to offend you. Hiruzen finished the last part of the sentence. Because you need to be reminded that no matter what, we're all monkeys. And you're one too. Those words Hiruzen said. How did you come across them? Was it a diary or journal? It was something on Salmon's. You wouldn't believe how much Tobirama trailed off while writing. Oh, I know, Hiruzen said. He has signed mission scrolls as well. And he always trailed off most times. He trusted you not to do the things that the laws impose, but which your heart claimed true for it to see, said Naruto. He wrote the laws for them to be followed and used by a kind heart. He gave the Uchihas a place in the village because he wanted to display trust and not put them under envoy civilians. And he was proud, extremely proud of every one of his students. Sir Toby nodded, a small smile on his lips. I thought that he would chew my head off for lying to you for all these years. Why aren't you at least more vocal with me? Sir Toby asked. As Naruto sighed, you had to obey the Hokage orders, I suppose, so I can't give you the complete fault. But next time, if there's another life, do give the hat to someone better. So what are you gonna do now? Are you still gonna become Hokage? Hiruzen asked. Of course I'll be taking that hat, said Naruto, as he thought in his mind, and revenge will be sweet. So sweet. Meanwhile, somewhere else, I hate the rain. The voice came out metallically. As small bits of steam came from the man armor. Han, come on, rain is a little price to pay for safety. The other man, with the red head and the goatee, replied. Roshi, you have a lava umbrella and I don't, said Han, as he pointed the lava umbrella that Han was watching Roshi use. And the rain was not even coming anywhere close to him because every drop got sizzled away. Did Fu manage to get what was his name again? Asked Roshi. Utakata, and she reported that yes she did. But the man wanted to bring his apprentice with him, Hodru. So they will take a bit to arrive, said Han, as he moved his hat to the side as the water that was gathered on it rolled off. What about the Ichibai? As Han twitched at that. Why are you asking me? It's Sasori who was a spy at work. You're closer than him. Han sighed. The kid is ballistic. With the Civil War and everything going on, the Three Tails has been running on Kira shores. So after we take care of that, we can move on to the kid. His name was Gaara. Yes, Gaara. Are you asking me? Roshi asks. If you don't know, how the hell am I supposed to? Yes, his name is Gaara. A woman with blue hair and a black cloak with red clothes on it appeared, said. And just like you, he needs a place which he wants to call home as well. Well, a home and peace. Let's just hope this doesn't end like Uzu. Han's voice turned dark. Your past does not matter, Han, the blue-haired woman said, as her gaze went towards his eyes, the Jinchuriki eyes. I still hear them scream at night. For all their seals, Han shook his head. Never mind that, you're right, Konan-chan. It's a past. The past stayed dead with the past. The moment we enter Akatsuki, this is one of those moments I'm glad that I'm the younger one. Let's dark past remember, said Roshi, as that snapped Han back into reality. Yeah, who the hell would think this Colossus was 18 years old? I mean really, Roshi, what the hell did you eat? Well, steamed dumplings and steamed vegetables, said Roshi. Han shook his head. So, how's the new kid going? He was a bit shocked, said Konan. When Madara brought him here, he hadn't told him about his old sensei being here. Typical Madara. Why does he insist on being called Toby? Roshi asks, as Han shrugged. He probably don't want to flock his age. Probably has a shine for Konan-chan, Han said in a teasing tone. Do you know that paper got hurt? Said Konan. I withdraw my previous statement, said Han. Time skip. Shades covering his eyes, Naruto smiled to himself as he was finally discharged from the hospital. Well, actually, he wasn't being discharged. He discharged himself, as he had to find out what changed in 3 months of time. And there was little that actually changed though. Ichioku Ramen was still there, but there wasn't any Ayam, as Ninja had told him that she had went off. And Toki saw him. He frowned slightly, as Naruto took his usual spot. So, discharge Toki questioned. As he already started to prepare the ramen, there was even a need to ask what ramen Naruto wanted. He would have beef ramen with extra beef. Yes, Naruto said awkwardly, as he was waiting for a yell from the man that he saw as a surrogate uncle. Some kind of teasing, some kind of yell, a shout, at him breaking Ayam's heart like that. But it was just silence. You know, if it was anyone else, I would have been surprised, Toki said. Then I would have been angry with my trusty ladle maker making the guy taking responsibility. But I know that you wouldn't have gone into this lightly. And if it happened, it happened. As the man sighed slightly. And you will take responsibility, right? Yeah, said Naruto. As the man placed the beef ramen in front of Naruto, on the house. Congratulations are in order then. You're going to become a father. At that very moment it happened. As Naruto really understood that he was going to be a father. He would have someone who look up to him, who cry and laugh. And need help. And as he started to panic, realizing truly what parenthood was, took his sad look on his face. You still haven't thought about it? Before he started to laugh. I was in the hospital for 3 months, said Naruto, as he weakly defended himself. And I have a lot on my mind right now. Well, at least you're taking it good. When I discovered I would become one, I outright fainted, said Toki. I already slept a lot. I'm not gonna faint. Kami, I'm gonna be a father, said Naruto. I'm gonna have a little me or little uncle on our own. And they will call me dad. And they're gonna become awesome ninjas or kunoichis. Then, as Naruto kept on babbling, Toki was smiling. He saw that Naruto was excited about it now. He wasn't even touching the bowl, he was just babbling on. Well, I'm sure he or she will be a great kunoichi or shinobi. But did you speak to it about Mitarashi-san already? Toki asked. Well, no, said Naruto as he scratched the back of his head. Listen, I'm giving you advice out of concern. And from experience. A marriage only works when both parties are properly focused. And bringing up a child is difficult. Extremely difficult. So you should probably speak to Mitarashi-san about it. Although it will soon be Senju-san, right? As Naruto blushed slightly, Uncle Senju didn't have a bad ring to it. Yeah, didn't have a bad ring at all. I just don't know where to start, said Naruto. I mean, what does one do to prepare for a marriage? Nothing except for a smile and say yes. As Uncle walked in, she was in a green dress, with a Senju symbol on the back. Do I have to go back to the hospital, said Naruto. Weren't you discharged? Toki asked. Obviously, he discharged himself. You know him, said Uncle. As Uncle looked around, she scanned the entire area. I'll have Dango ramen. One bowl, quickly, she said, before she find me. Toki nodded as he got to work. You know, your mother seemed to be the one on hormones, not me. She's truly, really frightening when you cross her on health issues regarding her grandchildren. As Uncle kept on looking around as the bowl came, she took it as she looked around and ate. The marriage is in 2 weeks, Uncle said. I see, said Naruto. You will have to memorize the vows. Go to the tailor for the kimono. Your mother is gonna be the acting priest. She's gonna name you clan head and... Wait, what? Said Naruto as he turned towards her. Oh, now we're listening. Well, I ain't repeating, Uncle said. And your pain, as she stood up as she already finished her bowl. As Naruto paid for her bowl and quickly took her side. No, really, what was that about naming me clan head, Naruto said. Well, your mom said that she's too tired to be the clan head. Too much paperwork. And not to mention she has a hospital to keep an eye on. So she's giving the clan business to you. She want me to go to the council in her place? Yep, Uncle said. Since it's a nice day and we're both escaping your mother's grasp, let's go to the park and start thinking about names. As she took his pen. Names? Should we wait to see if it's a boy or girl? Said Naruto. It's so that we can transform ourselves into other people and place surefire bets on the names and then rack it in, said Uncle. You can't be serious, said Naruto. Why would there be a need for raising money? The Senju bank account and mine are both in the green. There is never enough money in the bank account, Uncle said. As she then looked at him perplexed. And you're fine with me spending your money? Well, considering that we're talking about our kid and we're getting married, what's a big deal, said Naruto. Well, I had weeks of nagging from other clan wives, members, saying that they had to pass through their husband for expensive. And I'm not gonna beg you for money, even if it kills me, she said. And I thought you wouldn't be fine with this or trusting like this, although I should have expected you to be a completely softie. You should see how terrorized the Hyuga clan wives are. They get branded with a cage bird seal if they marry main house members. It's nothing more than slavery. I tell you, it's like you're a piece of meat. And Uncle, said Naruto. I know, he said. There's no need to make me remember. As they finally reached the bench in the park. Ah, the girly boy, Uncle said. The seal is also on his forehead. Yeah, the cage bird seal, said Naruto. But no matter what, I'll find a way to remove it. So, discussing about names, said Naruto. As Uncle rested her head on his shoulder, she had a sad look on her face. Maybe if she told him now, he wouldn't hate her. He was a good friend, her best friend probably. And in years, maybe she would actually fall for him. But being forced into the situation, getting the good part of the deal. He was not getting the good part, he was getting the bad side. She was going to go into a clan that had enough money to pave all the streets of Konoha into gold. Even though they were low in number, it would probably grow and become great in the future. She thought that she was in one of those fairy tales, where the shining armored knight that was Naruto would come to save her from harm. But no, she was a kunoichi, and she was given an order to create ties with Naruto to keep him loyal, and if his loyalty proven to be shaken to the village, she should report it, and if it's the worst case scenario, her orders were to kill him in his sleep, as she was currently doing a mission with a friend that she didn't even deserve his friendship at all. She hated herself for it. Listen, Naruto, she said, her voice coming out shakily. There is... Oh my, what a pleasant surprise. As Uncle froze when she heard that voice. As Danzo stood in front of the couple. How could he know? How could he actually know that they were there? And that she was about to spill the beans? As he gave her that smile, to show that he will know. He will know whenever she tried to do something. Whenever she tried to mess with the plan, he would be there. He would be there and he'd be ready to silence her. Not harming her, no, that wouldn't be effective. But the child. He could harm the child and those close to her. She knew that she had no choice in the matter. She should just be happy and smile. But her pride, her honor, her heart, it was going against everything that she believed in. To do this to someone she cared about so much. But she was too weak to refuse. Too weak to do anything. It made her feel terrible knowing that she could be bossed around. Do things to people that she loved. She felt terrible inside, and Naruto, he was genuinely happy to be with her, and the child, he was happy. And yet she was betraying him. She betrayed him more than anyone else before. But what could she do? What could she say? Nothing. And that was the reason she stood silent next to him. Shamira-san, said Naruto. As Naruto glanced towards Uncle, she seemed kind of tense and scared. Did something happen between the two? Maybe it was because of her work at the interrogation department. Could be something about privacy issues. Senju-san, Mitarashi-san, said Danzo. It is quite a coincidence that we have met here such in a bright day, isn't it? Especially when darkness comes out at night, said Naruto. But I don't really believe in coincidence anymore. So, get to the point. Alas, Senju-san. Something need to be spoken in the more private place. Might I invite yourself and your future wife for dinner? Perhaps in the following weeks. Well, I'll need to make sure there's no planned honeymoon in that period of time. But I will let you know a suitable period. Eventually. Of course. I was informed by a common friend that you had a incredible insight in the four Tokage actions and words. A secret journal, perhaps. Well, there was an entire library of it, said Naruto. Tobirama Senju was incredibly passionate and dedicated to his writing. I see. If I may pry, was there anything mentioned of me in those private journals? Well, said Naruto, if I pinpoint the names correctly, you should be mentioned as Spiky, right? The absurd nickname did make Danzo tense his shoulder before he nodded. Then there was something about coming out clear with one's intentions, rather than mulling dark thoughts in the background. Because even if they're made with the best of intentions, nothing can truly grow alone in the darkness, without the light to see the correct path. Actually, Naruto knew perfectly what Tobirama said, and it wasn't at all that. The man wrote Spiky is always brooding. Can't he just man up and tell me that he wants to be Hokage? I would deliver him the paperwork with glee in 5 seconds top. A Hokage need to be a thinker, and also someone that can act, someone that can walk straight up and make his claim. If this goes on, I'm gonna have to get Saru to be the next Hokage. I thank you for toning down his offensive comments, Danzo said. I know as well, I read his mission scrolls. I know how much he loved to express himself in his handwork. Well, I await a possible dinner date. With trepidation, Danzo said. And with that, the man made his way off. Did he just make a joke? Naruto muttered. He looked towards Anko, but she was trembling. Anko, is everything alright? As Naruto raised a hand to touch her forehead, but she kissed him. It seemed to be a kiss of desperation to calm herself down. She broke away from the kiss a moment later. What's the problem, Uncle? You can tell me, you know? I promise, I'll listen. A teasing smile came on her face as she chuckled. It's the hormones. It's the hormones, I tell you, she said. That and work-related. T&I, secret stuff. But deep down she was shaking to her very core. Her body was also shaking as well. You're freezing cold, said Naruto as he took off his jacket and placed her on her shoulders. You know, my original plan was catch you before you enter the ramen stall and bring you home for some home-cooked meal. But I said screw that, and I got some dango ramen. And you offered to pay for my food. So you left food at home or on the oven or in the fire, Naruto asked. Obviously not, Uncle said. I thought that once you realized my good intentions, you would offer yourself up as a cook. Naruto sighed. Know that I got the time to ask. Dango ramen? Really? What can I say? I suggested. Toki like it. He did. And I loved it, she said. Anyway, if it was a girl, I'll call her uncle. As she said it with a chuckle, so he didn't think he was actually serious. Raiden, said Naruto. As uncle blinked. Really? Thunder God? Try again. Something less boasting. Something like Shina. That means virtue, said Naruto. What about Suki? Beloved. What about Shiu? Responsible? With us as parents? Please. I'm not that mad yet. Naruto said that chuckle. What about Yumi if it's a girl? And Yoshi if it's a boy, said uncle. Beauty and best, said Naruto. Well, if it's a boy, we could call him Tobirama. As she saw Naruto's eyes sparkling. Fine. If it's a girl, it's Yumi. And if it's a boy, it's Tobirama. But I'm sure it's gonna be a girl, she said wistfully. We will see, said Naruto. We will see. And what about if it's twins? As the both of them froze at the voice. As Tsunade was behind them. We could call the second female Tsunade. As both of them got up and started back away. And what about the Aunt Shizune? As Shizune blocked their other path. Well, if there's actually 3 female twins, the both of you guys' names are in, said Uncle, as she slipped behind Naruto's shoulder. You're the man. Protect me. See you tonight, Mom. Big sister Shizune, said Naruto, as he waved a single hand sign and mist surrounded the both of them. And by the time the fog was gone, they were gone. He must have entered the rebellion age. I knew she'd have corrupted my poor Naruto-chan, said Tsunade, as she started to cry. Now, Tsunade-sama, no need to cry. It's just a phase, Shizune said. 2 weeks passed in the blink of an eye. As Naruto was currently dressed in his kimono, black, and Uncle was dressed in her white one, as they were in front of Tsunade, who was the priestess for the marriage. Naruto realized that there was something that was off. It wasn't Ibiki practically begging for forgiveness, nor Kurenai grieving over the loss of income from the fan club funds, nor the lower number of fans. And it wasn't the marriage location, the inner garden of a Senju compound, where the cherry blossoms were. And a wonderful white gazebo. It wasn't the food, there was as much ramen as there was dango. Many fatty food, and many healthy one as well. It wasn't the people invited because both Danzo and Hiruzen were there, blocking all people vibes. And Katsumi had come together with her mother. He hadn't said anything about it. The girl was a minor. He couldn't hold it against her. And Kushina, he was an adult. He could tolerate her being there for at least a single day. They did give the couple some Fuinjutsu books, something that the Uzumaki clan had great pride in. The Hokage could not come because of some flu case. The clan heads were there as well, and all of them brought a gift. So what the hell was the problem? As the Akimichi had gave Naruto 5 kilograms of coffee grains, much to Tsunade ire, because she didn't like Naruto drinking coffee, but Naruto did. And Uncle was given a cookbook, as Naruto would probably be the one to read that. Shikaku had gifted them a shogi board, while his wife had gifted Uncle a health product for nightly activities. As Uncle had blushed, Inuichi was happy because he knew that his daughter wouldn't try anything with a married man, as his daughter had been really obsessed over Naruto Senju lately. But now that he was getting married, well, and his wife also loved marriage, and it made her quite happy, and that meant more nightly time activities for him. His gift had been to Uncle a set of IT department books, some more advanced ones that Uncle really grateful for. And his wife had given Naruto How to Paternity book. The Hyuga clan had brought furniture, and Neji did his best to remain serious while they were there. But when they were not, he returned back to his normal self. How he spoke to his sensei Naruto. The furniture was a more important gift. Seeing that they were now married, they would have to live in one room. And Uncle had fell in love with his small cottage outside right beside the clan area. Obviously Naruto conceded because Uncle could blame everything on hormones. The Aburame clan had gifted some honeybee hives that were buzzing in the corner, trained to not attack unless there was intruders. As Shibi told Naruto that honey with coffee was a godsend, as Naruto was gonna try it out. There was many other gifts, but still something was nagging in the back of his mind. Something was wrong. His gaze was fixed on Uncle, who was now finishing her vows. There he saw it. He always thought that she wouldn't have much of a problem with it. She had insisted on it, but those had been his mother's words. Truthfully, in the past 2 weeks, he barely had time to sit and ponder and thought. This wasn't what she wanted, but she was going along with it for him, and he was pretty much doing the same. All he needed to say was no to stop this. And do you accept to honor your vows, Naruto Senju? Heir of a Senju clan. I do, he said. Why wouldn't he? There was nothing preventing him from doing so. He heard a snarl in the back of his head, as Naruto wondered why did the Kyuubi take that precise moment to start growling in his head. The rest of the marriage was congratulations, blur, and children, congratulations. And not to mention later on consummate the marriage. Time skip. During the night, in his mindscape, Naruto's eyes were shot open by a ferocious snarl as two eyes glare at him. Icy. The Kyuubi looked pissed. I hate being forced awake, she snapped at him. Shisai, you have no idea what I'm saying, right? Naruto shook his head. Meh. Suppose I shouldn't have jumped on you like that, seeing that we're friends. I mean, I've not a lot of time. For a long time. So, who's the pineapple girl? Q-chan, she's my wife. And it's been 4.5 years since you've been sleeping. Maybe the fox would be pissed at him for Jiraiya ordering him not to loosen the seal, which was the Hokage in disguise all along. Why did he bring him on the training trip though? Well, he didn't want the Kumo to take him. He'd rather sell the clan head of the Hyuga out. So it wasn't to protect him, it was to shackle him and keep him put. Yes, 4.5 years sound good, she said, as she used her tail to push away the sheet on her bed. Pushing it away revealed the iron seal. So the choker was a bluff, said Naruto. No, the choker is nothing more than the on and off. The seal itself is the bed. Destroy the bed, destroy the seal, and I'm out of here. Well, you would probably die by then. But I kind of like this place. Sleeping all day and night with no one to disturb you. I'll stay here if you don't mind. Okay, said Naruto, as he could not understand why was the Kyuubi so meek, playful, sleep-willing. Now, before I go back to sleep, I should tell you, I was jolted awake when someone sort of poured external chakra into your system, forcing you to accept the marriage vows. You had other thoughts upon saying no, right? But then, you said yes. External chakra, said Naruto. Genjutsu. You already know about that. So someone forced you, and you did not realize. It was a powerful one. As Naruto clenched his fist. Great. No, uncle would think I'm doing this for selfish reasons. I wanted to say no and give her time. What do I do now? You should probably pin down who did this to you because it's not the first time it happened. Then I suppose doing something that does not wake me up, she said. One of her tails grabbed onto him and pulled him close like a little teddy bear. As Naruto pushed his head up out of the fur. It happened before? The fox yawned. Yeah, some ago. Good night. I can't believe I get a bitch with that sleep. Hey, wait! What about Katsumi-chan? She's a Jinchuriki too. But the fox was already sleeping. As he started to think, someone wanted him and uncle to stay together. Someone used a genjutsu on him, a genjutsu that was so powerful that he didn't notice. And if it already happened before. As Naruto mind tried to relay. Wait. When him and uncle first. But why? Whoever this person is, did they think they would be together afterwards? A small doubt crept into his mind. Uncle would never do that. And she was the one for genjutsu. And that sad, lingering gaze was because she wasn't ready for something like this. As Naruto clenched his fist, whoever this person is, they would pay. As rage took over instead, he will find out who did it, and how. Time skip. Outside of the mindscape, Uncle cracked open one eye to make sure that Naruto was indeed sleeping. She had saw him hesitated before he said his own yes. She had fear for the moment, thinking that everything would go to the worst if he had said no. But he rethink it, and instead he said yes. He had taken responsibility to the end, and yet her heart was here, it was aching. This would destroy her and she knew it. She knew the reason her heart ached was because while she had a fling with Ibiki, their talks was nothing more than just talks. They were too tough, both of them, to go on whining about boyfriend and girlfriend acts and all that. But here she was with him, and she felt happy about this arrangement, yes. She felt genuinely happy about being with Naruto. But she closed her eyes as she felt nausea hit her as she rushed to the bathroom. She stood there and she looked at her naked form in the mirror. As her makeup was off right now, you could see the bags under her eyes. As her hair was on her shoulder, she was a mess because of what she had done. Anyone without a moral or any principle would have been happy to do this. But Naruto, he was kind, loyal, gentle. He would do anything, every crave, every quirk that she wanted. He did it all. And she hated it with her very soul. She hated seeing his face and lying to him, as she knew if he found out, he would never forgive it. That was something that was... She took a deep breath. Despite how kind he was, she had wronged him. She betrayed him. As she remembered, when the three of them were slightly younger, Itachi was there as well. Her and Naruto, as they were waiting on their sensei that would take them. Many would take Itachi because he was a genius. Some would take up Naruto because he was getting stronger and better. But no one would take her. Most people hate her as well. As the sensei was late, so they already know who it was. As Kakashi arrived. You, said Kakashi. Finally, Uncle said. Well, let's get to know each other then as a team bonding exercise. But we already know each other, said Uncle. It's a team bonding exercise, Kakashi said. Fine, Itachi said. My name is Itachi Uchiha. I enjoy visiting Japanese cafes. And my dream is to bring peace to the shinobi world. I like any type of tea. And I dislike those who think that violence is the best way to bring a solution to the world. Well, my name is Uncle Midarashi. I like tea ceremonies. I want to kill, burn, butcher, annihilate my ex-sensei for what he did. And I like Dango, and I dislike anything sour, she said. My name is Naruto Senju, he said, going next. A small amount of pride seeped in at his last name. I like reading. My mom, my older sister Shizune, Itachi, who can't survive his little brother without me. Itachi flinched at that but said nothing. Uncle, who would die from stomach aches if she ate nothing but Dango. As Uncle flinched as well. And also Kakashi Sensei when he's punctual. And I dislike what Orochimaru did to my friend. And I really hate people who tell lies. To look someone in the face and lie to them the entire time. I hate that the most. And my dream is to become Hokage to know the truth. Because I really hate lying. In the flashback. As Uncle, remember those words that he said he hates liars. Could she really be selfish enough to sabotage his chance of becoming Hokage so that he wouldn't find out the truth about her? Because she knew that he would be angry. Immensely so. She shook her head as she took one last deep breath before going back to bed. As she slipped under the covers, she snuggled up against him. As she took one last deep breath before she went to sleep. But she still had that wrenching feeling in her gut, knowing that what she was doing, not telling him the truth, was wrong. The next morning, the sun rose and the beam of light shot right into Naruto's eyes as he got her brother silently, so not to wake Uncle, but she was already awoken minutes earlier. Sleeping with Naruto was different. It was just warm, comfortable, and nice. As she grabbed hold of the elastic and tied her hair back, the cottage was a 2-floor wooden construction, 3 bedrooms. On the upper floor, a small bathroom for each, and in the lower floor, a kitchen, an office, and a living room. She then smelled it as she knew exactly where Naruto was. The kitchen wasn't anything too grand, but it was not trivial either. A rectangular table, long enough to hold 6 chairs on each side. A kitchen counter that stretched like a L, that turned. A refrigerator, a microwave, a radio in the corner. Should I expect this every morning? Uncle asked. As Naruto turned around with a smile on his face, or in his normal clothing. Well, as long as I'm here, I can avoid you eating too many dongos, right? You are not lowering my dongo intake, she said. I'll be subtle about it, he said. As he got the pancakes, the butter, the syrup, and a jug of milk. Hiro was thinking you were drinking coffee, Uncle said as she smiled. You already did, didn't you? Where's mine, she asked. Coffee is bad for you, said Naruto. And I'm being a hypocrite right now. Live with it, he said. I'm a hypocrite too, the thought quickly left her mind as it came. No need brooding over it. She would have to live with the situation and at least hope that everything will turn fine. But I want coffee too, she said, with peanut butter jelly in it. Naruto blinked. Sorry, but I love you too much to make you suffer through that, he said. Uncle's hand clenched under the table. No. It was meant to be a pointless conversation. Just them joking around, but... Love? It had been what, 2 weeks? Did he already have feelings for her beforehand? Was this just normal talk? I know, said Naruto. I might have been a crappy boyfriend. But that won't stop me from being a good husband and a loving father. Stop it, stop it, stop it, she cursed in her mind. Stop being so perfect. As she started to cry, she didn't even notice. Naruto came to her side quickly. What's wrong, he asked. Just why? Why? She cried. Asking a question that he wouldn't even have the answer to. But yet he did give an answer. Because I am here, and I am not going anywhere. I have already changed the people view on me. I am the Kyuubi Jinjulka and people smile when they see me walking through the streets. People stop when they see me and bow their head in shame for what they did in the past. But the simple reason I can give you is, this is what I am. Didn't make much sense, did it, he said, answering his own question. As Uncle understood him fully, he had been abandoned once, just like she had. Only she had first lost her parents and Orochimaru had abandoned her. Naruto was abandoned and betrayed repeatedly by his very own parents, who was still alive, who had a daughter that was being spoiled while he watched from the sidelines. And now he had his own responsibilities, his own family. He wouldn't leave it for nothing in the world, which meant that when the time will come, she hugged him. Tears ran down her cheeks. She was a horrible person, and she knew it. She was obeying orders, and yet here she was. She didn't know. She didn't know what she was doing, if it was a part of the mission anymore or not. She just didn't know. Her mind was just confused. She was hurting. It's alright. Everything's alright, he said, as he caressed her hair, as he hugged her. They had 4 years difference. For barely 2 weeks. And there she was, the older one. The TNI interrogator. Damn, it was Uncle, and here she was crying. He knew that hormones change people, but this seemed more than different. It became clear to him. Uncle was clearly being hurt from being with him. Someone had put him under genjutsu for him to say yes. And when he said that he loved her, she had fell to the ground crying. He cursed himself as he blamed himself first. He should have been able to break that genjutsu. He should have been able to done something, as he hates seeing Uncle in pain. But why would someone want this? But there was some reasons. Some girls that wanted to get with him in the future. Their fathers from different clans could now put them off to someone else. Maybe it was someone that wanted Uncle settled. But Ibiki had gone through great lengths to be forgiven when it turned out that the cheating was false. And it couldn't possibly be him or his new girlfriend. So who was it? For a genjutsu to work that way without him noticing. It could have been Kunai, but why? He doubted the genjutsu mistress would do that to him and Uncle of all people. Orochimaru. Why? That didn't make no sense at all. The Hokage? Why would he hate Uncle? It wasn't like she had betrayed. As Naruto's eyes went wide, Uncle felt him shake a bit as she looked up to see his face. That looked shocked. Itachi, he muttered. It all makes sense. Itachi, he had felt betrayed. Killing his clan was the excuse. He had confessed to Uncle and she had refused. And he had snapped, deciding for revenge. He had first looked for the strength to do it. Then he had tested that strength by killing his clan, and then finally, he left Konoha. The Kyuubi told him that she felt the genjutsu once before. It had to be him, a delay. Genjutsu would have all the time to seep into his brain. With him in the coma for 3 months. All to get his revenge on Uncle because she turned him down. To make her suffer. So that meant that Itachi was there. With Madara to help him. It didn't seem so impossible. No one would have looked for him there, and he did not use his sensory ability. So it was not impossible. Even though he was angry. In truth, he never set his ire on him at the battle. He was angry at Uncle. To get his revenge for her denying him. He did this all, constructed it, as Naruto felt angry. But it doesn't matter, he will not let Itachi win. He will not let Itachi ruin Uncle's life. And when they meet again, he would beat him until all of his bones were broken before dragging him back to Konoha. Are you okay? Uncle asked. Oh, it's nothing, said Naruto as he kissed her, as he wiped her tears away. Come on, stop crying, it doesn't suit you. Do I get dango with seaweeds? She asked. I'll do my best, said Naruto, as he smiled at her. Good, she said. She leaned into his touch. It was soothing. It made her feel safe. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also, guys, stay in tune for the rest of the what is coming your way. And I'm gonna be posting a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected, with Jushin sealed inside of him. So stay in tune for that, and I hope you guys enjoy over on Anime King 3. And stay in tune for a new episode coming over on Anime King, which I do hope that you guys will enjoy. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And remember to tell me if you're new. I'll be commenting down below and talking about all of you. So yeah, I'm off now. See you guys over in Anime King 3. Peace, guys.